soundtrack for you. Listen.
When I filmed the Palatag 999, I don't know, 5000 or something like that, I realized my laptop is still on. I realized that there was this question about a palette where you love the quality and the shades and everything, but the packaging is bullshit. And I thought, let's just expand that on all my makeup. And I have shit in front of me where I just absolutely adore the shit out of the product, but the packaging is bullshit. And this is like very, very specific. Like, I absolutely adore these products. There is absolutely, how many times have I said absolutely? There is nothing else I can criticize about these products beside the packaging. Let's go. You love to hear me rant apparently, so we will rant the shit out of my body. Let's start with primer, and there is this one primer that I love, and I think it kind of helps not only making my makeup look pretty, but it also helps my skin a bit, because from time to time I have those super dry patches, and then I know either the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base or this specific primer will save the day. The Ritual The Fee Thorn Oil. This is a beautiful product. And if you hear some it's my husband. He's mowing the lawn. Moaning, mowing, moving. He's like cutting grass. You know what I mean. But first of all, this is an oil. It's like cooking oil. So it is an absolute mess. I hate everything that comes with a dropper that is like this, because the very specific instruction for this product is to have like 5 to 10 drops on your face. As soon as it touches your face, it will run, it will be everywhere, we're going to every single line or crack that you have. So you have to work quick. If you do, you will end up with the most amazing glow. And also, the formula in this separates kind of, so you see that it is a bit milky. And in here are 5 little metal balls. So you have to like really heavy shake it to mix it back together. I don't know how, I have to also admit, I don't know how else you can pack an oil like this. And I didn't even believe that an oil can be a primer, but it can, and none of my foundations is breaking up on top of it. So whatever witch pissed in that bottle, it was worth it. Let's talk foundation, and there is only one foundation that bothers the shit out of me, because I cannot store it with the other foundations that I have. It's this motherfucker. The Lisa Eldridge foundation. This foundation is part of my top 3. Out of 27 foundations that I have, this is top 3. Why do you give us a long egg-shaped foundation bottle that we are not able to stand up? I hate this. I have to keep a part of this fucking packaging to put the shit in here, and because I have so many foundations, I don't have the space to store it here. So it stands next to all the other foundations on another level. And to be honest, I haven't used this in weeks because I always forget that I have it. If you have a better idea on how to store this shit-shaped foundation, please let me know. I need help. But the foundation itself is so good. I barely get compliments on my skin. Barely. Because people mostly are like attracted to my eyes and personality. No, just kidding. Nobody really looks at that. Like, people would, let me just tell you one truth. Those influencers who are telling you, everybody complimented me on my skin, they're lying to you. Nobody's doing that. At least not in Germany. Maybe this is an American thing, but in Europe, if somebody is commenting my skin, I will ask them, like, what the fuck have you drunk? Like, is there like alcohol? Did you smoke pot? What is wrong with you? But this foundation was the first time where I had to ask these questions because a workmate of mine, she looked at me when we were talking and she was like, I have to look at your face. What have you done? You look like one of those Instagram filters. It is truly this foundation. This is the only foundation that ever made people talk about my face, like in a good way about me, if you know what I mean. God. I'm in a good mood today. I have two concealers I want to talk about. The first concealer is the MAC Studio Fix Face Pen. This is such a good concealer. I have even done one video about that. I think it was a reel because I could not edit it down to a minute. This is a nearly full coverage but still light enough concealer that will just make your under eyes super smooth. It stays on all day. It is a wonderful formula, but the packaging is garbage. I know it's called Everywhere Face Pen. I know, but what you have to do is you have to twist the back, then you click, and then the problem is happening. It's like squirting out this blob of concealer everywhere. I don't know why MAC has such a problem with liquid concealer packaging or like cream concealer packaging. Remember the MAC Pro Longwear concealer in a fucking pump bottle with a straw? That was dumb. With a glass bottle. I remember those videos of people showing like they dropped their concealer and the bottle broke. And concealer was everywhere. And now the whole floor was concealed and no floor crease was visible anymore. The other concealer is the Chanel Supplémage. The foundation has the same packaging, but I don't have as much of a problem with that because you work with that foundation in a bigger area, so you need more. But the concealer also comes in a jar, which is fine to me, but you have to like lift that fucking lid and then everything is just messy in there. This is the messiest concealer that I own. Everything is like squirting out here. Now my thumb has concealer on it. And this little pot is €100. I don't want to waste concealer because it is messy. I'm pretty sure this could have been made with a doe foot. But because the foundation comes in a jar, this looks of course cute on your vanity. Like, who cares about the mask if it looks cute? I have a powder, and that powder, not that it made me think long, actually the powder was one of the reasons why my list grew and grew and grew and grew for that video. The Givenchy Prism Libre or Prism Libre, it's just Prism Libre, it's a loose face powder. But the problem is, this has 4 departments. And these 4 departments come through those little holes. And when you do it like this, you will end up with only 2 of the 4 shades. So what I do is, I put the lid back on top, like so. Then I twist it, and then I equally tap, like I tap 2 times on each compartment, so that I get an equal amount of product out there, because it just drives me nuts. I even thought about breaking this up and filling the powder in some other jar and mixing all of the shades together, because the powder itself is just, it is wonderful. This is such a good powder. To be honest, the colored parts they don't do any concealing. They just don't. They don't do color correcting. But they kind of brighten. And I like that sometimes. I like that a lot of times, to be honest. But the packaging is just so painful. I hate it. These 2 products I already mentioned. And let me just give you a hint with a sound. Wait. I hope you hear that. Charlotte Tilbury Glow Glide Face Architect highlighters. I love these highlighters. They are so intense, they're so blinding, they're so good. They feel awesome on the skin. Like on my skin, even though I have a bit of texture, it's not like emphasized. Like highlighter will always emphasize whatever's underneath, but it's not like, for example, with the Rare Beauty highlighters, the baked ones, it looks not as good as this one. But why are you charging us €45 for one highlight that comes in cheap plastic packaging and then does this? And even, oh, I have a new sound trick for you. Listen. Do you hear how the pan spins around in the packaging? Come on, that's not acceptable for a brand that charges me that much. And last but not least, I mentioned them already in the palette tag, but I want to mention them again. Every Isamaya palette. You know, I am probably the biggest fan of Isamaya Beauty on earth. Because she literally could release dried dog shit with a ribbon. And I would buy this. Because it's from Isamaya herself. I love this woman. I adore her work. I sound like a obsessive stalker, but I am such a big fan of her, and meeting her, if that day can come, I can die peacefully afterwards. I would probably lose my mind. I would pee myself and shit myself because I would be completely overwhelmed by her presence. I don't know what it is that draws me so much to this person, to her art, to her work, to her everything, but it makes me super happy. But her palettes are packaged so bad. I love the fact that I have a naked 3D printed Isamaya French on that palette, and it looks awesome. I just touched her boob. But I can also touch her nose. But I cannot store it. You know, you cannot put this in the shelf and just let it sit there peacefully. They have to literally lay or stand somewhere, being displayed. I mean, they're a work of art. Somebody said about the Wild Horse palette that this looks like cheap kids makeup, and I partly agree, yes, but at the same time I don't. Because I think it all works with the whole vibe of this palette. And again, not only the fact that there is a 3D printed horse with like stones on top, it's a round palette. I cannot store this in my shelf. But that's enough for the ranting. What are your products that you love to death, that you wish that you could turn yourself into these products, but the packaging is so bad that you literally want to rip it apart? Let me know down below. I'm very curious for your personal rants. And have I said this already? Like, subscribe, comment, shit. YouTube, TikTok? No, Instagram too? I don't know. If so, here you are again. And thank you so much for being here, for staying here, for ranting with me, and I will see you in the next one.